Good morning. Today is Saturday, May 26th, Memorial Day weekend. Just pulled into the Dominguez Escalante area. So this is about 20 miles south of Grand Junction and approaching Delta, kind of in between the two of them. So definitely feels like you're in the middle of nowhere when you're out here. So this is gonna be an interesting trip, and it's kicking off my 2018 season. There was a fire literally 20 miles from here and another small one maybe 5 miles from here. But as you can see from behind me, it's kind of scrubbed, so it's not like glorious mountains and hills, but rather it's a scrub grass. So my route, I've got a couple options today. So I'm going to be doing Dominguez Canyon, and there's two of them. There's the big and the little. Navigation between the two, it's between either 13 miles if you follow service roads, or 7 if you try to shortcut. But it's the description, there's not a lot on it. I've seen a couple websites about it, and it mentions that it can be difficult route finding. So when you're by yourself, you got to be on your mark and all that. So I'm going to kind of play it and see how it goes and how I feel. But today I'm up the Bridgeport parking area. So there is a public campground if you have Jeeps and all that. It's like 13.5 miles from here. So that is going to be part of the canyon, the big Dominguez. So if I was to do that and come back, it would be 26. I may peek a little bit further and kind of see what happens, but route finding on big Dominguez is supposed to be pretty easy, and little Dominguez is a little bit more difficult. But again, it's getting to the canyon and dropping down. There's not great signage. So you can see, not a glorious start here along the river and train tracks, and I believe there should be a bridge soon. But so this is a big public area for day access. There's petroglyphs, all that. And as you can tell as well by my voice already, it is scorching hot out here. So it's only 11 in the morning, but it's supposed to be in the low to mid 90s. So obviously hot. So I checked just for kicks and giggles as well in the state of Colorado. If you want to go car camping, every place is reserved. We can go online, so you can tell everyone wants to get out. So I thought the western slope would be a good area to go as well, just because it's not as many people out here. Obviously, Estes Park would be full. We had a bad snowpack this year, so the good news for backpackers, by mid-June it should be great in the mountains. But either way, I'm trying to do different areas of Colorado. Recently started a new job, which is great. I also have another one on Saturdays, so getting time off for me is quite difficult. So I do have a few days to spend out here, and again, I'm going to play it by ear. Looking forward to it. Got new equipment to try out as well. So alright, so getting ready to cross the bridge here. So first point of interest right here ahead of me here. There's actually another one 100 yards that way, but it's private, so just a little bit on the history of where I am. So you got the public lands kind of intersected with the private lands over here as well. So crossing that here in just a couple minutes. I'm going to go ahead, and there's a registration here, so I'm going to fill that out and keep on moving. Alright, crossing the bridge over at the Gunnison, and I look at the other private bridge over there, and you can tell this gets a lot of day use. There's people all around me. Supposedly this is pretty popular, and people turn around about mile 5 or so. Breeze feels really good. Not a lot of shade, but what I like about the river, this will not be my primary water source, but if you wanted to, it looks like it's not a muddy beach area. You could probably go in and cool off if you needed to. So, alright, so I've crossed the railroad tracks, the bridge. Here's the first sign. So I think now the triple's more official right now. So alright, I'll probably check in at the first landmark or in a couple miles. Doing good so far. So this is kind of cool, right? I've got the bird to my left. It looks like they got irrigation channels, and this goes literally almost way down. But I think it was used at one point for agriculture. But you can tell there's a lot of rafting parties out here. So this side has some pretty large tent groups and all that. So I believe I should be leaving the river in about the next 15 minutes. Leaving the river, nice breeze as I'm entering the canyon. Just probably the last signs I'm going to see for a while. Kind of letting in about the animal life that's out here. This one you can read all right, but the other ones, the sun's got them so bad that they're they're completely torched. But so now I would say I'm more or less through the area where the river campers are. So the only people I'll see from here going on are either day hikers or people like me that are probably planning to camp here. And I think once I get 5-6 miles up there, most people will probably be turning around since it's approaching 11:30 and starting to get hot out here. But I'm glad there's a little bit of a breeze, and to my surprise, I've started to drink this. I filled it last night with ice, and I left my backpack in my car. My garage is reasonably warm, and it's actually really cold, so that's good. But I should be coming up to some landmarks and stuff, so I'll probably get my night shots there. But it absolutely feels like Utah. I normally go to every April because of my new job. I did not, but yeah, this is gonna be fun. It's just gonna be really, really hot. So there used to be mining out here back in the day. So I believe as I go through the trip, I'll run into some old camp areas. This looks like some type of workbench table. I mean, right there. So as I'm going along, I'm gonna peek at stuff, and this is free-range cattle. There's pies all over. I haven't seen the cattle yet, but pretty cacti. But at one point, again, probably keeping their horses here in this stall. Huh. So not too much, but again, yeah, you can see the fence all the way around there. Here, so yeah, at one point this area was probably fenced in pretty good. Smart area for the work table too. It's in the shade. Looks like it's become a pack rat nest in the past couple of years though. But I believe this was many years ago. So again, I'm in a bowl right now. The stream is right over to my left. The upper ridge of the canyon is to the right. So I should be coming to the trail junction 45 minutes or so. And I doubt there's a sign, but from what I read, Little Dominguez is straight/left, and Big Dominguez is toward the right. That is the direction that I'm going to be going. Alright, so right ahead of me is one of my landmarks, the Tyrannosaurus skull. As I'm standing here, I don't know what these things are, but I'm going to give them a berth. Sweat bees or something like that. This is kind of cool. So if you do go online and look at this, this did stand out. So this is the Tyrannosaurus skull, as they call it, with the little teeth. So that's kind of cool. Which means I must have missed some of the pictographs and those rocks, but there are people back there, so I'm not shooting anywhere around them. But it's actually kind of cool. So I do remember that. Making good time and all. I may go visit the water here in a bit because it is absolutely scorching out here. There is no shade or anywhere to kind of hide for a couple minutes, but still good. I can tell my allergies are acting up a little bit. The cacti are all blooming. So I got some ahead here. There are some that are pink. I had the same ones in my yard, but they aren't blooming yet. Probably a couple weeks behind. This area is just already consistently in the 90s out here. Denver is not. But, definitely very cool. Very open. Again, there is no route finding issues on this type of trail. It's just open and go. So still moving along. Looks like I'm at another temporary mining shelter where they literally just build these blocks up to block it from the wind. Maybe the sun a little bit. Sometimes maybe they put stuff in here, but this is definitely not historic or anything. It's just a simple little shelter. And just standing right here, it instantly feels 15 degrees cooler, especially with the wind. But I just bumped into a group of 20 day hikers literally right in front of this area. So definitely people out there, but probably getting to the point where I'm not going to be seeing them much longer. And it's not even noon yet. It's approaching noon, but that makes me think around 3 o'clock out here, it's going to definitely be an inferno. So I'm going to keep on moving along and check my mileage here in a bit, but just being at here, I got to be at 6 and change right now, I'm assuming. So the hiking is pretty easy. It's just gradual uphill. Again, there's no signs or cairns. It's just, all right, we're in the ravine. You just kind of follow it. I haven't actually got a visual of the stream yet, but they're all just walking down to it, so it's right over there. But making good time. Another dinosaur head with teeth. Alright, just check mileage. I'm not as far as what I thought. It just feels that way. First hike of the year, right? So I'm up to my first sign telling you about the archaeological sites, and here they are. So I was reading about this. Definitely a lot on it. Look at all that. But when I was reading, it's actually from different tribes, different time periods. So you can see what looks like the rams, but also like the horses. And the Utes, and I think it was either the Fremont or the Anzani. I'll mispronounce that. But so again, this particular site, I do remember reading a little bit about it. Again, there's not a ton of info in the area or about the trails. It's just the dinosaur teeth. I remember reading about those, although I only read about one of them. And there's a couple rocks like this, and then there's more mining equipment as well. You can see a little graffiti on here, you know, where people are being jackasses, but pretty neat just to think how old that is, and the fact that someone in a different time was standing right here doing that. So leave it alone and keep moving. So this area of the Colorado Plateau has the biggest concentration of Rocky Mountain bighorn sheep. Good news is there's some right in front of me. Bad news is the GoPro doesn't have a zoom. So right below the door, right in front of me, 100 yards, and then 100 yards up, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, I got 5 of them staring at me. Kind of grayish and whitish, just sitting there staring at me, but pretty cool. I didn't know if I'd see them. Another dinosaur head. That's 3 of them. Some markings, but they look primitive to me, but the best part. Just take a moment here so you can see where we're still going. Again, that's the top of the plateau, so eventually if I am going to cross through the canyon, I'll have to climb out. That's not on today's agenda. So I did run into a couple other backpackers from Denver Metro. They're staying about a mile that way. They said it's hot. They're only planning to do a day out here just to check it out, and hey, that's fine. It's right by the water. But definitely hot. It's definitely above high noon. I took a break 10 minutes ago, got into some water, which was nice. Set my pack down, and of course it fell down in a big pile of dirt, so everything is dirty now, but that was going to happen anyway, right? All right, back in the sun. All right, more pictographs and shade. This is the first shade I've had in 45 minutes, so I'll be getting into it in just a little bit. But kind of cool. So these, looks like you see horses. Name 1858, 1959. Who knows? But these look legit. Here are the actual figurines and all that. So yeah, I'm probably gonna be searching for a lunch spot here in a while, closer to the water. It is blazing out here. Wind helps a little bit, so it's not fatigue from the hiking. It's just the not being used to being in the heat and all that. Haven't seen any people since the backpacker, and I don't think I am from that point going forward. You know, it's the middle of the day right now. I think most people are day hikers, but still very enjoyable out here. I would highly recommend this probably being a great spot coming in April, September, October. You know, it's like 70s in the day and 40s at night, but still pretty good. It'll be interesting to see how cold it gets tonight. I actually hope it does. The one thing looking back that I didn't bring was a like a sun shirt with sleeves. You know, so every time you go out backpacking, there's always something you like, oh yeah, I should have brought that. So that would be my item. Check out this guy. I've never seen a lizard like this before in the Colorado Plateau. Yellow head, green body, good size too. Heading to the rock and under the rock. All right, still looking for shade. It is smoking out here, but again, cool view. You can tell that's where I've come from. And I'm going that way there, gradually uphill. This area right here had some pretty good incline to it, but not too bad. It's just that it is a wide open bowl, and again, trail finding is easy. Here it is. So I'm hoping to take a break here the next half hour. I'll guzzle some water. I'll actually purify some and make some, so I can reserve what's in my Camelback. But yeah, I haven't seen anyone in now in about hour 15 minutes or so. So I definitely now feel like I am out in the wilderness. It's gonna be hard to hear me because of the wind, but I made it to a primitive camp miners do in Graffiti. So literally back in the day, they would hole up in an area like this. See, they got their implements here, tin cans, glass. Woo, this stuff's old. But primitive camp, because there's not a lot of shade here, so it makes sense. And Graffiti here. This is all modern to me. 74, 64. That's not the real deal. But I did see right around the corner here, I was looking for some of the mining equipment, and so this must be that mining camp. So I know this is like a shaker box, but it's amazing. It's just out here in the middle of nowhere. Heavy. I assume that came in on horse and buggy, but that's solid. That's 200 pounds. And over here, I see the wheel device coming up where they would turn it around. And this is actually a shaft over here that is closed up and covered. Probably nice and cool down there. This is getting off the trail, but right here, I thought I heard this crank still. Turns around. See the dates on that here. Seattle. I don't see dates on it, but that thing is old. Really old. And alright, here's the mine shaft. I'll have to go to it. A little bit downhill. Cut through here. And it's in the shade, I'll take that as well. Still haven't found a stopping point yet. If this works its way down to water, this is going to be it. So this is covered and chained up. Oh, it's actually, I see a seal right there. State of Colorado Mine Land Reclamation. But wow, right there. All right, so I think I'm going to drop my stuff here, call this break for a while, and see if I can get some water. Super windy out. This is the first sign that I've seen in a long time. So Cactus Park, still going up in elevation, but I can tell that at least in an inch, it's getting to close at least to the top of this mesa for a while. But so Cactus Park that way. I'm going to continue going on this way. The wind's actually helping now. Either that or we're just used to it, but it doesn't feel like it's actually as hot as it was before. I just bumped into 3 young guys half a mile that way. They were talking about doing the same itinerary I was, and kind of came to the same conclusion that it's so hot that it's going to be a tough one. But at least going to do big Dominguez, see what happens. But I think that's what I'm going to be doing. So, all right, back at it. Super windy out here. Hopefully I can be heard, but pretty cool structure behind me. Definitely sticks out as being different compared to everything else. And then directly behind me, the GoPro won't pick it up, but there's a giant cave. If you look at the very bottom, top of that cliff over there, you know, the GoPro is going to pick it up. That's just pretty cool. It kind of sticks out, very different from the rest of the surroundings. And gradually, going in this direction, going uphill, I think in the next hour I'm going to start looking for my spot, and I'll want to drop down, be closer to water, but I also want to be low to hopefully be more out of the wind, but also hopefully it'll be cooler at night. You know, I would like for it to be in the 40s. I think that would be great. Haven't seen any wind since those backpackers, and doing all right. It's just the wind definitely evaporates everything out of me, I'll tell you that. So I think I'm going to do 2 nights. I'll do the entire Big Dominguez, so I'll camp next hour or so. Tomorrow I'll go to the end of the terminus and come back and camp some way halfway in the middle of it, but I'd like to spend more time exploring by the water without the pack on. So I think that's what I'm going to do for my itinerary. Afternoon, it's 5 o'clock on day 1. I've been at the site now for about an hour. Once I hit about 10 miles, I immediately started All right, time to start looking for a site. So if you look over here in the shade, the trail's way over there. So you kind of have to make a committed move and say, all right, I think it's time to start looking for a site. So I did right within here. If you notice, I got rocks pinning everything down. And I go to the river. I'm not going to call it a river, sorry. The stream that is 2 feet across. It's right down there. Got to go down this little hill though, so you get dirty on your feet. But the nice thing is the water is right there. I pulled rocks from that, and just in the time when I was down there purifying water, this whole side of the tent blew up. So I've got all my stuff in here now. So I think this area is pretty windy. The canyon literally comes from there, but you also get it from around here too. So the good news is that it does make it a little cooler. Well, actually I laid that out. It said it was still 90 degrees, so definitely still hot, but the shade makes a big difference. And I'm literally standing in the water when I'm quitting myself or getting stuff for dinner. So tonight I'm going with chicken breast and some of the Nor noodles. So the nice thing, since I have water right there, it'll be easy to clean, eat. But I have a little bit of an appetite, but again, when it's really hot, not as much. More or less drink a lot more. So plan for tomorrow is I will go to the end of the trailhead at Big Dominguez Canyon. So I'm getting about mile 10, so it's probably about 4 miles I want to say to get there, 4 to 6. I'll have to look at my GPS. I'll go there, spend a little bit of time there. I guess it's like car camping. If you have a high profile vehicle, you can drive it. And then I'll literally turn around, go back. Tomorrow night I'll go further down this way, find a different spot. But I want to maybe explore around a little bit more too. I know there's more pictographs and artifacts that are here that just aren't on websites and stuff. So I'm going to give it a shot. But all right, dinner's boiling over, so time for dinner. All right, so cleaning up from dinner for night one. The Nor stuff worked pretty good, and the chicken breast stuff was awesome. I would definitely buy that again. And I did bear vault out here. Used to using it. It does take up space. It adds an extra 2 pounds, but again, critters can't get into it, and it works, but I didn't have to. But I would rather have it be safe there or not. So I'll show you the water hole. So it's a little bit of a walk to go down here. You can see my footsteps here. It's not crypto soil. There are a few cacti as you're doing it as well. So I got nipped by one of them, and I did wash my boots earlier, and I definitely pulled some thorns out of the boots. So when the wind isn't blowing, although it's rarely not blowing, here's the stream area right here. So, again, the nice thing is the site's right up the hill there, but it's not any less windy down here. But I did scout the areas down here as well, and it's the thick brush just because of the river and all that. So I'm probably gonna get everything cleaned up, have a little bit more, drink a little bit more, and do some reading, and probably have an early night for my first night. But the tent now in the shade is very, very nice. I don't think I'm gonna have to put on you know, long underwear and a fleece top tonight. I'll have it with me, but I don't think I'm gonna have to. But so tonight's the first night with my new tent. Got a Big Agnes what is it, the HB, the high volume 2. So just being in it so far, it's definitely got more room in the shoulders. It's nice. And then I brought a new bag as well. I had a backcountry bed before, and it's an awesome bag, but it takes up a lot of space in your pack. So this is really the first time I've actually been able to get everything in my pack and didn't have to hang anything on the outside. So I'll probably check in one more time, but overall a great day, and I have not heard or seen anyone since about 3 o'clock today. So it is 6:30, the end of night one. You can see I got sunburned a little bit today, but not like horrific, but hey, that can happen tomorrow. You can tell right now that the wind pattern is going to kind of be constant all night long. It will go really strong for 5 minutes, and then it will stop. You can actually hear that little stream next to me, and it starts up again, so it should be a interesting sleeping night. Still very warm. Even the water in that stream has got to be in the mid-60s, because you go in and it feels obviously really good, but you can tell it's not freezing water and you drink it. It's cold, but not very cold. So recap of today, did about 10 miles. I saw all the sites that I believe that I found online and could find. So tomorrow I'm going to finish this trailhead. It's somewhere between 4 and 6 miles to go. I'll take a break there, maybe like a mini lunch. And then I'll head back and I'll try to go past this point and find another site, hopefully out of the wind in the areas as well. But I drank a lot since I got back here, but I can tell I'm still thirsty, so I'll probably grab my water one more time before I read and call it a night. But right now it's dead silent, but I can promise you in 5 minutes it will be blowing here like crazy. I didn't hear the other 3 packers come by me. They said they were going to try, but obviously they didn't because I have it be right there. But overall, a very good place. I think in the early spring and the late fall, this place would be awesome. So I'll probably plan another trip to Little Dominguez, maybe in the fall. Well, good morning. It is morning of day 2, which is May 27th on Sunday. Don't have the GoPro will pick it up, but fascinating rock structure right there behind me. I don't know how that guy is managing to stay up there in the very end of that piece right there. Interesting weather last night. We did have 2 dry thunderstorms that came through, so the winds really picked up. I'm glad I had rocks and everything all the way around my tent. And again, I dug those out of the river right there. So definitely needed. The rain didn't actually ever hit the ground though. It just sort of acted like it. So right now I've got my coffee going, my mocha. Trying something different. I'm doing a breakfast skillet. Actually dehydrate that in the pouch for about 10 minutes. Then put it in the frying pan. If I was fast packing, obviously I wouldn't have packed that extra stuff, but it's always fun to try stuff differently. Temp out right now is fascinating, although I know it's not going to stay like this. So there's probably a good 40-degree drop in temp here at the night until the middle of the day. And I can tell my allergies are acting up with the pollens and stuff. But I slept on my bag until about midnight, and I did pack fleece and all that, and I didn't touch any of it. So I don't think I'll need that again tonight. So I'll probably check in once I eat breakfast, clean up camp, but I'm in no rush today. Like I said, this is probably going to be the temp-wise best time of the day. So, all right, so it's 9 o'clock, morning of day 2. Sun is definitely out and starting heating up. Kind of give you a 360 of what's going on around me. So again, that's the direction that I came from. This is where I'm going. So I've been gaining elevation slightly, but it's a great contrast with the deep blue sky and everything else around it. Again, the rock I pointed to earlier, that thing looks like it is hanging on by virtually nothing. So, all right, camp packed up. Feel pretty good. I definitely took my time when using a frying pan and cleaning up and doing all that. But again, I think this is first trip of the year. I'll get 30 miles total in my 2 days, but I'm not going to go ultra aggressive. It's also nice when you have a pack that has these side pockets, is you put food in them, lip balm, stuff like that. But I'll admit I didn't recall checking it before going on the trip, and I found sunblock, real small one, so I just put that on. Hopefully that'll help out a little bit as well. So I'll check in maybe once I kind of some sites or point of interest. Not really aware of any up this point until the campsite, but I'm sure there's just still cool stuff to look at. So I'm about a half hour into my hike. Definitely the prettiest area. You can tell I'm going up in elevation. There's cacti, but they're not flowering here yet, so it's definitely still going uphill. And you can see the area I'm in now, just out of nowhere, the topography, the rock will turn like charcoal and black, and you can instantly tell it gets a little bit hotter with it. So it's rockier, more scree. These bushes and trees in front of me have just started popping up in the last 20 minutes or so. So still going in that general direction over there. And as you kind of look ahead of me here, yeah, I'm going out here, but again, it's not like a well-marked trail. So I found myself going off it twice so far, but it's, 5 minutes you're back on it kind of thing. Probably about as far away from the water source as well. That's probably a quarter mile that way, somewhere in there, right behind me. But definitely a cool area. Well, I'm dipping down a little bit right now, then I'll be going back up, and right between those 2 junctions over there. So I think I'm on track to hopefully get to the terminus at the Bridgeport campsite, around noon today or so. But feeling pretty good, definitely liking it out here, and gonna keep rolling on and try to find some shade in a bit, see what I find. But no real structures or anything. This is just pretty much open scrub land where it is what it is, but it's definitely still pretty to look at. You just got to watch your footing a little bit in the hills. All right, just checking in. Been hiking for about 90 minutes, and you can see by the terrain behind me, it definitely kind of goes up and down in this part, although I'm still making general elevation increase. Nice breeze has kicked in. No sounds or anything out here. Saw water for the first time about 10 minutes ago, where you could visually see it from where we are, but definitely pretty high on this side over here. I'm looking at the other side of the top of the mesa over there. So again, the trail's pretty well marked right here. I've probably been off it 4 or 5 times, but again, after 5 minutes, you find it. So I'm going to assume I'm getting close, but that's the one interesting part when you're hiking in an area you've never been before. It's mentally those last couple of miles are, oh, it's right around the corner, right around the next corner, and eventually it is, but it's taking its sweet time to get there. But definitely a lot more trees and cover as I'm making elevation. All right, about 11:30, and I'm hearing my first human-made noises. Sounds like I'm hearing dirt bikes. Kind of hear it right now. So I'm going to assume I'm within 20 minutes of the parking area. I just bumped into 2 day hikers that had a dog, and they told me they camped here last night and there was a bear. So there are bear up here, probably more at the altitude I'm at now. Just makes you think, and it's gotta be a tough life for them. I don't know what they're eating out here. So I'll check in once I get to the sign. Looking forward to taking a break, taking out the pack, getting lunch, and refilling the water supply. So directly behind me is the largest concentration of water that I've seen. I'm going to assume there's probably a beaver in here that's damming it up. So I'm going to look for his dam. But yeah, the topography is changing a little bit. You can just tell there's reeds, water. It's a couple feet deep. Definitely not the prettiest color of water and all that, but once I camel up, I'll hopefully find a feeder stream and get out of it. So I keep saying I'm almost there. I believe I'm almost there, although I'm not hearing noises anymore. Finally, made it to the halfway point. See some tents here. So this is the halfway point of my trip. If I was to try to connect to the other canyons, those roads would be about 13 miles, or it's 7 on a bearing point, but again, it's definitely open wilderness. So I'm going to be taking a break. Again, I'm at the Dominguez Canyon Wilderness, so this is the point of terminus for this trail. So I believe this trail itself is 13.1, but that doesn't measure the beginning of it to get to the trail. So I'm going to take a break. I see a bridge down there, that looks nice, and probably look at my GPS. I'm just curious what my total mileage is. I think it's a little bit longer than what I thought, but it's nice to see an area, restroom, all that. So I'm going to take a break and get some water. Time to head back, and I just checked my GPS, and I'll admit I was a mileage idiot. So the mileage that I thought, Big Dominguez, it's 8.1, but that's just to here. That's 4.5, that's 4, and that's 2. So I was checking my GPS. I'm actually right around 20 miles right now. You can tell the bikers are all out, so another cue, time to go. Yeah, so my mileage is definitely off. So this is going to end up being a just under a 40-mile trip. So I figure doing that 2 nights, 3 days is definitely enough for me. But again, so now this is actually right around 7,000 feet as well. So it's a little higher than I thought, but everything checked out there. Register box, I already registered the other one, so now I'm heading back. So it would be nice if I could make it within, a couple miles or where I stayed last night. I do want a better spot, but I've also learned that the wind will probably kick up, so it's worth finding an area that might be hidden more from the wind. But also it's really nice to be close to water, just because I usually make 3 or 4 trips. So all right, on the way back, 1:30, so I guess had a good hour break, which was great. A lot of car camping, nice spot there, and you can tell the bikers are all out, but the trails, no one's on them. All right, so on the way back, and you can tell being at elevation, I think I'm getting more adapted to the heat, so it's not as big an issue. But I remember passing this earlier, and this is like the first camping spot where you can tell people have stayed here. They have their fire pit. I think water's still pretty far away. I'm not staying here. I would like to get another 2 hours of hiking in, although I did tell myself I'll take a break, have some food, so I can keep the energy going. But so far so good. You can hear the wind a lot. It's not really hitting me. I'd actually kind of like that now because it would be at my back. But So far, so good on the way back. Just hiking the open terrain. So I'm kind of on a plateau. The bottom of this one, way over there. There's the other one. That's the direction of water as well. So this, it's about as far away from the water source as you get. And I can tell I'm ready to visit that source here in a bit. So still looking for an area where it gets closer, and then I'm going to take a break. A little bit of a breeze every now and then, but absolutely no wildlife out and about at all. Alright, the GoPro probably won't pick it up, but one of the nice things about doing it out in the back is you get a separate. So here is where I'm going. You can see way out there. There's another one. So I still have many miles, including one more night. But I'd say I'm making okay progress. So this is the hottest part of the day, but I can tell I'm more adapted to it. So it's not as intense. You can tell I'm getting dehydrated now, but I believe I'll be dropping down in a half hour or so where I saw some water, so I'll be stopping there. But I'm gonna keep moving along. It's too early to look for a site, but I'll start browsing around in a bit. All right, 4 o'clock check-in, and I'm definitely running out of gas. I'd say I got about an hour left in me. I'm looking at some of the landscape from earlier today. And again, GoPro hard to see, but the far right extension almost looks like it's a man's face looking out. And I want to say I recall looking at on my hike up this morning. So maybe about an hour or so I'll start looking for a spot. I definitely want to be by water. I'm running low on water now, so I need to fill up, and I would like to minimize my trips. But doing all right, just getting a little tired, but I think it's time to start looking for a place the next hour or so. Good evening, it's night 2, and I am at my camping spot. Been here for just about an hour, and it was about long enough. I was actually camping about a half mile over there yesterday, and when I went by this spot I recall saying I'm going to be camping there. I did look more down here. It's just hard to find a grassy area where you can actually put your tent. The spot is great. There's only a couple things that could be bad, and one is there's sand fleas everywhere. They're all over me. But with enough of a breeze, it keeps them away. The other is I can see a lot of animal tracks on the other side end here, so I'm sure later at night they'll be here. So my bear vault, since I did hear a bear report, I'm definitely going to put it away tonight. I didn't really do that last night. Then lastly, if it was going to rain, this wouldn't be a fantastic spot because it's kind of in a floodplain, but I'll take it. Cool rock formation over my shoulder over there, that's a standalone. There's kind of another one there, and it's funny as you go through the canyons, they're always turning, and anytime you see one at the end there, it looks like a landmark, and you're always, oh, I recognize that one. Well, I did that earlier today, and I still had an hour and a half for my hike to go. So the temp right now feels awesome. And what I like best is I have a foot spa here. So I've already visited it twice. So I've refilled water. I can tell I still need to, I've got 2 32-ounce bottles in the Camelback for tomorrow. I finished one I got here. I'll have another one for dinner tonight. You could actually, that's about 1.5 feet deep. So I think tonight before I go to bed, I'm going to, I'll get cleaned up a little bit. You know, I've kind of washed my clothing and all that, but this is a fantastic spot, especially out here because everything else looks like that. A spot like this, and boom, there it is. I did not see any backpackers today. I saw 2 hikers with their dog. I saw them on the there and back, so I think most people, it's just hot enough to where you don't want to come out here, but right now it feels awesome. So as I'm thinking about the videos I've been taking, I've been probably whining about the heat a lot, and it's not horrible, it's just, it is hot, and I think if you were here in April or late September or October, it would be a fantastic place. So I will definitely be coming back, and like I said, right now it feels absolutely fantastic. So I'm going to have dinner, bannock bread. It's kind of like pancakes. As long as you don't burn them, they turn out great. Just don't feel like eating soup-based food right now. And drink a little bit more, get cleaned up. And it's 6:30 now. I bet I'll be in bed tonight by 8 o'clock because I'm tired. But now that I'm here, going to get cleaned up, feeling great. I'll check in with you maybe one more time tonight. Good evening. So it is the end of night 2. This is a fantastic camping spot. And I'm in here. The bugs are away. As you can tell, I've got the laundry mat going right now. It's one of the reasons why I like the 2-person tent, because you can sleep on one side. So this is what I've been wearing the past 2 days. I just washed it all. Of including myself, and it's a little colder when the sun is out. And then I've got on this side over here, fresh clothes for tomorrow, recycle one shirt, but new socks, all that. Underwear, t-shirt, all that is new as well. So I'll probably in a bit do some reading, scoot this out, go out one more time, guzzle some water, and so call it 7:45 now. I would say within an hour I'll probably hit the hay. Feel a lot better now. I just need to get re-energized. I had the Bannock bread for dinner, which tasted great. I was definitely not in the mood for like a soup or a mountain house, so I brought that. And Bannock bread, it's basically like a pancake, but it's got a whole bunch of healthy stuff in it, and it cooks like a pancake, so it's not super easy to do outside, but it turns out really good. You know, raisins, currants, whey protein, just, again, it's like a bread, but more like a pancake is what I would call it. All right, so I will check in with you tomorrow in the morning. All right, good morning. Day 3, today is Monday, Memorial Day, so hope everyone had a great Memorial Day. Thank you to our service members. Today I will be leaving, so I'm about almost 10 miles. I'm literally only a half a mile from my past site, and that's one of the interesting things when you're backpacking and it's all open, meaning there's no permit, you don't pay to park, there's no entrance fee. It's just, here it is every time you're going around a corner, you're like, oh, that's a good spot. Oh, there's got to be a better one. And so again, I was a half mile that way on night 1. If I would have gone further, I would have stayed here probably both nights, just because, again, the water access is great. This is also probably the lowest point where the canyon on this side and this side meets here, which is why the water all funnels here. Did have animal activity here last night, and I did see, it looks like coyote tracks right on the far side of the green grass over there. So that was kind of cool. But, all right, so it's just about 8 o'clock. I'm heading out. And again, this hike today, it's early in the morning, so I've got a couple hours of probably really enjoyable hiking. Like right now, it's perfect. And toward the end, again, it's by the railroad tracks and the Gunnison, which isn't the prettiest, but yeah, overall, this was a really good trip, an introduction to hiking in the heat again. So this would be a really good area to go day hiking, I think, where you're wearing a light pack, go 7-8 miles in, see the sights, have your water, head back, if you're to do it in the summer. But I will definitely plan on coming back in the fall. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started on my hike, but just kind of a general view of where I'm going. Half hour into the hike, feel really good. Don't know if the GoPro will pick it up, but on the canyon over there, so it's obviously widening. 1, 2, 3, just individual spires. They look like they're appearing from the middle of nowhere. Don't know why they're up at a couple chutes over here. So you can tell right down there if you need to get water. It'd be a little work, so the canyon is definitely widening at this point. It's a lot of up and down. And again, the sun it's up now, but there are areas back there where I'm wearing my glasses and it's shady and all that. I've lost the trail twice, not in a bad way. It was, well, just keep going this direction, and 5 minutes later you're back on it. But here's an example now of it's not always very obvious in some areas, and you keep going around obstacles and you're like, oh, back on the trail. So keep my eyes peeled for wildlife. Early morning's probably one of the best times to see it, but today nothing outside of birds. Saw a marmot yesterday, so definitely not a wildlife here, although I think they come out at night. Obviously with the heat and all that, it's just easier for them to go out that way. But gonna keep moving along, but just a general look at the vista of where I'm at. So the Gunnison is that way. Alright, so I'm back at the mining site, and this is the exact spot where I saw the other 3 backpackers on day 1, and I don't think they went any further. I think they were looking to camp in the area, test it out, and head back. So I've not seen any backpackers my entire trip beyond this point right here. And get another look at some of the implements. But I guess the miners used to literally make temporary shelters in these areas, rock them up, go into them, store things. It's definitely nice and cool in there, but whew, like the most comfortable sleeping spot. And again, the shaft is further down here. It's where I also got some water. So without going off of a great memory, I want to say it's just under 8 miles from here back to the trailhead. But fence posts up there, so let's see what else is over here while we're here. All right, yeah, that was the some of the inscriptions, and again, these are from primitive people kind of looking at stuff, but kind of a cool little shelter area. And even see some tin cans in here, beans or something like that probably. But yeah, neat. Fire pit. You can tell people have been using that recently, so it looks like people are camping here as well. And this is one of the first spots where I've seen footprints. So one of the interesting things about this trail is normally you see footprints, trekking poles. You really don't see any at all on this entire trail except some of these historical areas here. So yeah, feeling really good. The temperature is great. Keep on moving on. So this is a good example of the hike. It's actually a lot of up and downs. It's not flat terrain, so you can literally see I'm kind of on the downward right now. Actually, I'll be going on the top of that and going down. So you get by water sources and then you get further away from them, but right now I'm dropping down. You can tell by those trees way down there on the other side. That's where the water is, but very, very pleasant hike right now. Believe I'm getting closer to the Gunnison. I'm getting a little bit of a breeze coming at me this way, which feels great. But today is awesome hiking. Feels great. So behind me is a pretty sweet overhang. You can see some of the areas where it's flaking off and they're falling down. I'm sure that happens from time to time. Kind of neat to see that. Right in front of me, again, way far away, but spires right there. So still heading in the general direction this way, and again, it's just a curving canyon all the time, so you're visual and you're on high points. You can see far away. Unlike right now, you can't see anything beyond where you're going to be coming out ahead. But it's also a little bit of overcast this morning, which is making it very pleasant outside as well. So today is a fantastic day for hiking. I'm still surprised. I have not encountered a single person yet, day hiker, whatever you want to call it. There's no one out here right now. So as I'm looking back on it, again, I've encountered a total of 5 backpackers that either group went more than the 7 miles at the mine. So I'm thinking this area is partially kind of like a hidden gem where people aren't going to it beyond day hikers. And also it's probably a month, you know, later in the season what would be considered to be really good, enjoyable weather for it. But I think this is a great area. Easy drive from Denver Metro. I'm sure it won't be a fun drive tonight with the Memorial Day traffic, but still very nice. So keep moving along. So I bumped into 4 day hikers now, so I can tell I'm getting closer. I've noticed that before. I don't know if the GoPro will get it, but you can see a little bit of blue coming through middle of that rock right there. So a mini arch. I'm now approaching what I believe has to be the area of the Gunnison, just because if I look on the far side of that bench over there, at the bottom of it, you can see all the green trees over there. So I believe that is the Gunnison. I could definitely be wrong, because I've been wrong a lot with my mileage out here, but very, very pleasant. Like I said, a little bit of that cloud cover makes a huge difference, but it's now just a little bit after 10 a.m. I haven't had to take a break yet or anything like that, and very, very pleasant hiking today. I feel like I have the energy. I could probably do one more day if I had to. If it was like this, you know, once it would hit 95 degrees again at 1 o'clock, I'd be like, all right, well, maybe not. But all right, so I'm going to keep going. I think I have a couple more sites to see. The only one I did not pick up yesterday, supposedly there's a waterfall here, so I'll try to find that. And I ran into 2 backpackers, maybe a mile that way. That's as far as they were going. And they were telling me that they came here last year and the water level was a lot higher. So I think the snowpack is even affecting it out here. And in talking to them, they told me that they asked me if I thought the water tasted muddy. I really haven't thought about it, and I'm like, yeah, it does. And I've actually been taking the last ounce out of my water bottles and chucking it. So it does have a very muddy dirt flavor to it, which I really haven't had before. But so I'm looking forward to hopefully finding somewhere today for lunch where there's ice and really good tasting water. Although it is the holidays, so I'm thinking a lot of places may not be open, but we'll figure that out. All right, I see more day hikers coming, so I'll check in once I get a view of the river. All right, so not the Gunnison yet, but I do remember walking in on day one and there was tons of people right around this rock in the shade. I didn't really get a good look at it. I don't think I saw this structure either. So I'm gonna go take a look, but again, this looks like another miner's one. People have kind of dug into it, made a shelter to stay out of the wind and stuff, so let's take a look at this. There's like a little breeze coming from it. All right, that's definitely enclosed off right there. So starting to hook around now, so this will lead into it. That's kind of a cool spot right there. It's a nice little mushroom rock in the middle of nowhere. That is still, I don't even know the name of the creek. I'm going to assume it's Big Dominguez Creek. But it's now going to be hooking around this way, so I'm getting close to it. So I've seen intermittent groups of people day hiking now, so almost there. Temperature is awesome. Today is a great day to be out hiking, and yeah, got good energy level that works right now, and all I had to eat today was Pop-Tart and coffee. So all right, unless I see something really interesting, I'm just going to keep on moseying along and get a shot of the river once I get there. All right, more structures. We got cans here, probably a can of beans with the 2 pokes in it. But this was a corral area, and it looks like over here, wow, they actually were hanging tools and implements, but this is metal storage or something. Still got the rusty nails in it. Huh. Shelves, I'm not sure what that was, but pretty cool. I don't know what that means. All right, I'm walking over wires as we speak. Watch out for that. So wow, whatever they had, they kept it in this small area right over here. Kind of neat. So I think when I was coming in, I might have just peeked over at it, but didn't get a good look at it. So one of the neat things sometimes when you do a loop, or should I say a there and back, is you get a different perspective and you can see things you didn't before. A lot of cow patties in the area, so this is a free range area. These all look pretty old to me though. So there is, I mean, grass that cattle could eat off of. I'm just thinking maybe this time of the year they're put away more, all that. And you can see the railroad now. So that is the Gunnison. Then I also see a fence area. So I do recall looking at this side of the rock on the way in, but not the other side, because I remember seeing that storage right there. All right, making better time than what I thought, so keep pressing on. When you look at the brochure of the place, there is the waterfall, which is right here. Not a lot to it right now. You can tell the water level is low and it's really muddy down there. So that leads into the Gunnison. There were people by the waterfall, so I didn't shoot a lot, but they wwere 3 backpackers I talked to. All right, so these signs are sun faded, but it looks like I've got from here 5.8 to about the trailhead right here. So almost 6 crossing it, but this will be the easiest hiking there is, because as you can tell right in front of me is the Gunnison River right here. So I definitely undershot the total mileage, but that's all right. Great day for hiking. So tracks, just follow the river back, and it looks like that culvert they made must have been a pretty big project, but it starts right by the waterfall and goes all the way down on the side of the river. So all right, keep moving on. 6 miles. I'll see if I can do it maybe just more than a touch than an hour. We'll see how I do, but I'll challenge myself and see if I have that in me. So time to move on. Back on the bridge. Get a nice breeze. The Gunnison looks pretty full. Moving along in a good clip. You can see a rafting party over my shoulder down there. It's the only one I've seen so far. And I actually just saw a truck on that bridge over there that's private use, so must have land or something over there. But just think back in time before these bridges were here, this would have been a major crossing right here, because I don't think this area really gets too low. All right, so still moving along until I'm getting thirsty, but I mean, this is just walking literally right now with a backpack on. So here's the trail register I hit on day one. I'll sign out, get out of here. Maybe I'll check in one more time by the parking lot. All right, quarter mile ahead of me is the parking lot. So I made good time in the last 5.8 miles. I'm gonna get there before noon. So this part of the hike obviously is your warm down or warm up, but Gunnison's just to the left of me. And if you look over there in the distance, looks like it's trying to rain over there, but that's the kind where I can tell where it's not hitting the ground. But great area to go to, great hike. I highly recommend it. Today was a fantastic day, so the only thing I would change is I would come a month earlier or go later in the fall. But otherwise, I would absolutely come back to this spot. It was a great trip, so hopefully this video turns out good. Thanks for watching.